Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for another unboxing and review. Today we're back with Star Wars reviews. It's Heko from Star Wars The Bad Batch. After this one I'll have two other Star Wars reviews from The Mandalorian. First Boba Fett and his throne, and then Bo-Katan. I'm so excited about this. So first, as usual, let's talk about the box. So this is your usual Star Wars box design, which means it's a black box with a promotional picture of a figure, the Star Wars logo, and a colored strip. For the Bad Batch figure, you have a red colored strip. You also have an additional promotional picture there, and another one there. At the back, you have the usual product information. And when you remove the first part of the box, you have a beautiful promotional picture there. So let's open this and take a look at the accessories. Echo is a bit weak in terms of accessories, but it comes with some really nice ones. The problem for me is the lack of hands. Usually with clones there are a lot of options. Though here the options are the different robotic arms. In Season 1 we only see him with one robotic arm, but here you have 4 additional options. My guess is that Lucasfilm sent early concept arts with his arms and they ended up not using them in the series. Nevertheless, I do hope to see these arms in Season 2 because I think these are such cool features. The display base is your usual Star Wars interior base. Plus, you can put a printed piece of plastic on it, like this. It features the helmet of Echo and the name The Bad Batch with the Star Wars logo here. It's a nice option, but I'm not so fond of these pieces of plastic that you put on stands, so I use it without it. I think it looks better like this. You have 5 hands. One hand to hold the blaster, one pointing finger hand, one open hand, and then you have 2 robotic hands, one to hold the blaster and one semi-open hand. These robotic hands are nicely detailed. It's the same type of hands as C-3PO, except it's a different color here. In terms of weapons, he only has one DC-17 and blaster. It's the same one that came with other clone troopers. Then he has his backpack. It's pretty big. It also has 2 antennas, one small, one tall. They used revering on it. I think it looks pretty cool. The red and yellow paint have some scratches, which gives it a realistic style. And as usual with backpacks, it works with a magnet, which means it's extremely easy to put it on the back of a figure and to remove it. Finally, the arms. First you have the one that you see in the series. It's the computer arm. It uses the same shade of colors as the backpack, with some weathering on it as well. Then you have one jackhammer arm. It's the heavy one. There's also a lot of weathering there. I love it. And it has a retractable function. That's cool, right? There is also a grasper arm with fully articulated pincers. How fun is that. Look, everything is articulated there. You can also equip it with a wire like this, so it can move. Another possibility is the astronomic arm with different utensils. I think it's another cool one. Finally, you have the utility arm on which you can use the robotic hands. It's a protocol joined arm, except it's painted with copper. That arm can also be extended like this. Here it is. It feels a bit like Inspector Gadget, so that's fun. I like this one too. Now let's take a look at the figure. I'm a big fan of the Bad Batch, so I was so excited to receive this figure, and I am not disappointed. I love how all of the armor they have used weathering with a lot of paint scratches. It gives him a veteran look. It's amazing. And Hot Toys has done a fantastic job translating this armor in a live-action style. It is not your usual clone armor, there are a lot of differences. What you instantly notice on the legs is the big knee armor. It's glued to the figure, but it's actually articulated, so depending on the pose you can adjust it. The shin armor is more round than your usual clone armor, and the armor above the knee is actually the same one that you have on other clone troopers. The Kama uses fabric and also a little bit of pleather. There are 2 armor pockets glued to it, so that way it doesn't limit the articulation range. The belt is your usual clone belt, except at the back on each side you have additional pockets. The blaster holster is also not positioned at the same place as usual, it's a little bit further. The chest piece is similar to your usual clone chest piece, except it's not exactly the same one. This one doesn't have straight lines, it has arced ones. Plus, the lower part of the torso feels more robotic. As for the arms, the shoulder pads, this piece, and the right hand are exactly the same pieces than for the clones. What changes is the rest. Obviously, you don't see a robotic arm on the other clones, and on the other arm, the forearm piece is actually different with a more simple comlink. Plus, if you look on the side, the undersuit is not the same. There is a little bit of pleather, so you'll have to be careful when you pose the arm. Finally, the helmet. It's totally different from what you see on other clones. It's a brand new design that truly feels unique. I think it looks pretty great. The Headsculpt is a modified Tamara Morrison sculpt. They bleached it like in the series, so at first it really looks different. But this is how it is in the Bad Batch, and I think Hot Toys has done another fantastic job. The robotic part on his ears is not removable, it's actually part of the helmet. So if you want to display him holding his helmet, you can actually remove that part from the helmet so it looks accurate like this. With Hot Toys, it's all about the details. And in terms of articulation, since the neck and the head are 2 different pieces, you have a greater articulation range. You can look up, look down, and look on each side. As for the rest of the figure, the helmet can look up, look down, and then look on its sides. The arms can move like this. You can adjust the shoulder pads to allow bigger articulation range. The arm move like this, the other arm like this. The hand can move. You can also move the torso. The legs move like this. The knee can move like I said earlier, and you can also move the feet. So now let's see some poses. Echo is our first Bad Batch figure and is absolutely amazing. I love how Hot Toys translated his armor into a live-action look. There was a lot of work done on this one. It's not a clone repaint. Plus, you have a lot of fun possibilities for the robotic arms. Now I just can't wait for Hunter to be released, and Crosshair too. I hope Wrecker and Tech will be announced soon, and I'm still hoping for an Omega announcement figure. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye!